Hi guys, it's Debbie with Creation Zone, and I thought I would show you a sample today of a new stamp set that I just got called For All Things. And this is in our Holiday Mini, so let me show you this real quick. It's on page 41, actually, 41. And here's the stamp set and the coordinating pieces to go with it if you prefer all the Step It Up pieces. So you got your washi tape, some gold basic metal buttons, and here's the Color Me Autumn Designer Series paper, and we are going to use that today. And here's some other samples on the other side. So if you haven't gotten this catalog, just shoot me an email at creationzone@tampabay.arc.com, and I'll get one out to you. And this is the stamp set again. It is a clear mount stamp set. And I love it. I love the watercolor. I think I made that pretty clear when I showed you my haul video. And here's the card that we're going to do. Okay, let me see. I gotta see where I'm at. Actually I made this one easel style, but today's card, I cut the cardstock wrong, so we're gonna make it like it's gonna be a different fold, but it's okay. It'll still be the same basic idea. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to need is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I have my measurements on the back. So this is 2.5 by 3.5, and I think I need something on here so you guys can see a little bit better. So let me just pull out my, there we go. Yeah, I'll put it on my stamping piercing mat, and this way you can see it. We're going to pull in the soft suede. I'm just going to stamp this up a little bit. What I really like about the watercolor is that it doesn't have to be perfect. So even if for some reason you don't get a good ink on your stamp or whatever the case may be, it's not supposed to look perfect. Okay, I'm going to bring my sample in here again. And we're going to get this closer. Oops, I almost dropped it closer to the top. Add a little bit of a watercolor there. I did drop it, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to get some Mossy Meadow. Now this is one of our in colors, and we're going to stamp the Hello Fall. So tap, tap, tap real quick. See if I can get this on straight. And, not really. You know what? No, it's going to have to stay because I wrote the measurements on the back. Alright, and the other thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp this wheat image, and we're going to use the Blackberry Bliss for that. I love this image. I have this kind of crooked on my stamp, but that's okay. All right, and that pretty much completes the stamping part of it, and then we get to do some embellishing. Now I did, down here in the pennants, I did go ahead and pre-stamp that. That is another piece in this set. It's actually a banner, and what I did was I cut a bunch of them. I stamped a bunch of them on here, and then I cut them out. I actually only need to do one. I already have two cut out. I just fussy cut this so I could cut it in half, and it looked, I gave it just a little embellishment. Alright, so that's what I did, and I did two of those images, but then I cut them in half, and now I have 4 banners. And we'll be putting that on the card a little bit later also. So now basically it's all about the layering. That's probably going to bother me, but it's okay. I'll get over it. All we have to do now is do the layering. So I got some Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and this is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. We're just going to layer this image on here. There's a lot of layers on this card, but that's what kind of makes it, you know, fun. So we're just going to layer this up. Okay, and then what I did was I took a piece of that Color Me Autumn Designer Series paper, and I just thought this was a little busy for what I wanted it for. I don't know. It took away from the wheat, and so what I did was I took a piece of vellum cardstock, cut it the same size, and I took my stapler, my tiny stapler that's also in the Holiday Mini, and I just stapled this together because I didn't want to see any adhesive marks. So that works out. And if for some reason it's crooked, just trim it up a little bit. So now I have a mat, and now it's muted. It's not so in your face bowl. I didn't want it to overtake my focal point. So then all you have to do is attach that. Okay, and I think that's a 3x4 measurement. And then I took another piece of Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to layer that on there. Yep, that was 3x4. So this is probably 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. It's not quite straight. There we go. All right, and then we have another piece of Whisper White we're going to put behind there. And this is a very thin border, so I only increased that by 1/8 of an inch. So I could have a very thin border. But I needed something to break up the Blackberry Bliss. Whoops, I put the adhesive in the wrong spot on that. So we're going to go ahead and mat this to this. I'm going to take this up to the top a little bit. All right, let me put my adhesive on this. I just wanted a very thin border, like I was saying, because I didn't want the jewels, because these are like jewel tones. I didn't really want them. It didn't do anything. When you see the Blackberry Bliss on the Mossy Meadow, it doesn't really do anything for me, so I had to break it up just a little bit, just so you could see the differential. I don't even know what that means. The difference. Okay, now the one thing I do need to do now is I need to go in here and I need to slip my little banner pieces in. So I'm just going to pull 2 of these in. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive at the top. And then we can just slip these under here. That's no big deal. That's because I put the adhesive on the wrong piece. Okay, so that's all there is to that. All right, so basically all we have now, I was going to open the card this way, but I realized it's an elongated image, so I really can't do that. So we'll just make it, we'll use the old standard opening. I want to do something a little different. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to put this on here. And we're good to go with all of that, all of the stamping and stuff. Okay, so now we have to do some embellishing. And what I did was I brought in my Crystal Effects, and I gave the wheat a little bit of a glaze. I wanted to dimensionalize that just a little bit. Dimensionalize. Is that a new word? Oh my goodness. All right, so we're just adding just a touch of this. This takes a little bit to dry, so you definitely want to make this one of your last steps. And if you've never used Crystal Effects before, it can be used as an adhesive. It can be used as a glass-like coating, so it makes your image look a little glassy. And mine's super old. And you can use it, and it'll stay tall. It doesn't flatten out. So it gives you, like, if you were to feel this, it actually feels like there's some dimension to it. So that will have to dry a little bit, but in the meanwhile, I took one of our vintage faceted buttons. I'm going to move this out of the way just for a second. I pulled out one of the smaller ones and got me some linen thread. Gotta have the linen thread, because that's really, I love the natural twines and stuff. And I probably should have done this off camera because this is going to be a bear for me. Let me see. I cut a pretty long string of it, and then I cut it in half. Let me see if I can get it threaded. I guarantee you I'm not going to be able to do this on camera. But I think you can figure out what I did there. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. Let me see if I can... Oh, I only got one in, but that's all right. We'll go with it. Because I doubt I think I'm really going to be lucky if I get the other one in. I meant to do this before I even started filming, and I didn't. Okay, well, we're going to pretend, or I can even just tie a bow and put it on the front of it if I wanted to. I probably can't do that either. Anyway, what I did was I'll bring in this one. All I did was I took 2 pieces of linen thread and I wove it through the holes. No big deal. Used some pop dots, not glue dots, and I attached it to the bottom of the wheat. It's just to give it a little bit more dimension, and it adds a little bit of the naturalness of the whole format of the card. So there we go, guys. Hello fall. It's coming. Everybody's excited, and check out that new holiday mini. If you didn't get yours, let me know. Talk to you later.